Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire, and in all truth and in all sincerity. And Shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Alright. Hold on, Akim. Alright, I'm back. Alright. This whole UBI situation that's being rolled out in this US city. Let me get it. Never mind, let me do it this way. Let me look for that article. Is it in Chicago? Hold on. I want to see if that's the U.S. city that they're talking about. U.S. city to roll out Guaranteed. It might be that one. Basic. This is the article. Alright. U.S. city to roll out guaranteed basic income. This was published on May 10th, 2023. The Rise Up Cambridge cash payments for families with kids will provide low income households with a monthly check for $500 to test guaranteed basic income. Those eligible are families with children who earn under 250 of the federal poverty level. $75,000 for a family of 4. The 18-month program will not be based on a lottery like other guaranteed basic income rollouts, and anyone eligible may apply. Hold on. The program, the 18-month program will not be based on a lottery like other guaranteed basic income rollouts. And anyone eligible may apply. The city has allotted 22 million for the initiative and expects around 2,000 families to apply. The money to fund the program will primarily come from the American Rescue Plan, distributing our federal tax dollars to others, and some independent donors will pitch in too. This program is only eligible for people with children under 21 and will not make a noticeable dent in the homeless population, nor will it help the elderly who live alone. That said, families with children already receive the most in federal funds, and if they're living in high cost Cambridge, chances are they're receiving income elsewhere. The cost of living in Cambridge is 73% higher than the national average. The median retail price is around $4,277 per month, and the median home price is over $1.4 million. Quote unquote, we want to stabilize as many households as possible and make sure they have a chance to continue to stay in our city that you know is not easy to stay in. Quote unquote, Cambridge Mayor Bull Siddiqui stated. A 500 payment in a high-cost city will never financially stabilize families. Instead, it will increase inflation and bypass the middle class. Unlike traditional welfare programs, those eligible will receive direct deposit payments that they may spend as they see fit. The American Rescue Plan was not marketed as a guaranteed basic income initiative. Siddiqui is buying votes for federal funds. The city is pricing out the middle class by providing handouts to those who can't afford to live in the expensive city. Free money becomes like a drug, and the people become hooked on receiving the monthly direct deposit. But as with all drugs, they will become dependent and will need more and more as the cost of living increases. This will only incentivize people to not work and vote for politicians who promise handouts at the expense of responsible taxpayers. And basically what this brought to mind was this right here. They nothing new under the sun. Let me get that first. And this is how Esau is going to cause all. You know, this is one of his ways that he's going to cause all. Ecclesiastes 1-9. This is one meaning of this verse. The thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. The other meaning is that the thing that is that. Well, this is one meaning of that verse. And also, let me get this right here. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And this is how, because this is how. Because Esau, he's gonna eventually require, he's getting the people, he's not giving this gift out for no reason, just to help people, right? Esau, he's that unjust judge. Luke 18:6, and Yahweh said, hear what this unjust judge saith, and shall not slack you. Luke 18:3, and there was a widow. Luke 18:1, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men always ought to pray and not to faint. That was the meaning of the parable, but if you look at it, this unjust judge that is being spoken of is Esau, And the Most High Yahweh is not in all their thoughts. Luke 18:2, saying, there was in the city a judge which feared not power Yahweh, neither regarded man. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after power Yahweh. Power Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. And who's the wicked? Where Malachi 1 and 7. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom whom Yahweh had indignation forever. In other words, where they're at, that's where the wicked is. So Esau, Edom, is the wicked. So let's go back to this. Luke 18 and 2, saying, there was in the city a judge which feared not power Yahweh, neither regarded man. Verse 3, and there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversary. Verse 4, and he would not for a while, but afterwards he said within himself, though I fear not power Yahweh, nor regard man. Verse 5, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. Verse 6, and Yahweh said, hear what this unjust judge saith. So, there's the point. And, Yahweh Shai said, my bad, because it's Yahweh Shai speaking. So Yahweh Shai said, hear what this unjust judge saith. But let me get this. Ecclesiasticus 14 and 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. And really, he's doing it because of this. Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. And also, for you Jakes, wait, hold up, never mind. And he also, this devil studies history as well. And this reminds me of Egypt during the time of Joseph. Which Joseph was doing it for a righteous reason, but Esau is doing it for a wicked reason. To trap you up. Here chapter. And he had that dream, right? The 7 skinny cows and the 7 fat cows and 7 skinny cows, etc., right? Then an ill-favored kind, which represented famine. The 7 good kind represented the years of plenty. But this was, and he also had that dream with the 7 ears of corn that was good and the 7 ears of corn that was withered. Okay, basically saying the same thing. But basically, I don't read it because Esau, he learned from history. And if he, this devil, he doesn't do good willingly, right? And he also knows that a gift destroyed the heart. So this is kind of what he's following. With the UBI having everybody dependent, right? Wait, are you doing the right thing? But instead of giving the people food, he's giving them digital. Well, it's gonna be digital currency soon. It's not gonna be cash. He's not gonna send you cash. So it is gonna be digital. And eventually, with that Fed Now system, it's gonna be digital money. So instead of actual products that he gathered from the people, instead of food that he got from the people, shit like that, this is what he's doing. Basically, instead, digital currency eventually. Getting the people hooked on free money, like let me see if this was free or not. Well, basically, this is how the people became dependent on Pharaoh, just like how they're gonna be dependent. They're gonna give up their jobs. They're gonna give up their jobs for that universal basic income. Genesis 41 and 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and let him take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in 7 plenteous years. Verse 35. And let him gather all the fruit of those good years that came, and come and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Verse 36. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. Verse 37. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and the eyes of all his servants. And so this is what they did. And okay, except this time Esau's giving it out for free, but because a gift destroyed the heart, to cause you to become dependent on it. Verse 54. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph has said, and the dearth was in all the lands, but in the land of Egypt was bread. Verse 55. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread, and Pharaoh said unto the Egyptians, go unto Joseph what he said to you do. Verse 56. And the famine was all over the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. Verse 57. And all countries came to Egypt to Joseph to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands. And let me see if I could and back then, okay, the difference is that Joseph wasn't doing, Yahweh in the Hebrew wasn't doing it out of malice because the gift destroyed the heart. He was genuinely doing it to help the Egyptians and shit. But Esau, he's planning on giving out this free money. You know, of course, Esau does shit in test runs. You know, he does shit gradually. You know, in one city, and then oh, it works in this city. Okay, we're gonna do it in this city and in this state, and then etc. And Esau, he's doing it to basically set a trap, because the people will be dependent, will give up their jobs, will be willing to give up basically their rights, because when the time comes, Esau is going to require the MOTB. Esau is going to require you to get the MOTB. Let me go back to, this is one way that he's going to cause all. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads, because the people, they're going to be looking to, Yahweh well, Salakia. They're going to be looking at him as a modern day version of Joseph, Yahweh Sab. Except better because eventually it's going to be like you don't have to meet any sort of requirements for this money. As long as you below poverty level and shit. And as the middle class is going to be collapsing, you're going to have hold up, more people fall into poverty. And so more people are going to qualify for it, and more people are going to take advantage of it, but they're the ones being taken advantage of. Because it's like the article said, it's going to be like a drug. And the people buying into it, they're going to sign up for the program. They're going to be willing to do anything to stay a part of that program. You know? You could see that in even these other forms of welfare that's already in place. Like disability checks in a way, like food stamps in a way. And those are not that much. Those checks are not that much. And the food stamps is restricted to just food. And people still have dependency problems with that. So imagine a universal basic income or guaranteed basic income program being implemented nationwide. And he says because of the recession, right? Because of the recession, we're handing out this UBI. That's what the stimulus, remember the stimmies? That kind of, the stimmies during during the COVID crisis, during the demic, the stimmies, they were, that was kind of like, I guess you could say, a test run of that. And they seen how people reacted. And so they know how you modern day Egyptians, how y'all gonna react. You modern day Egyptians in spiritual Sodom and Egypt, because this is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. The dead bodies of the two prophets represent the two houses of Israel, the northern and southern kingdom, and their dead bodies lying in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, also where our Lord was crucified. Everything that Yahushua represents, everything that he represents is basically crucified in this country. Everything that he represents up to this point, everything that he represents. And also Sodom, and come on, place this Sodom all over again. And it's Egypt all over again, because in Egypt there was a bunch of idol worship, and also Also, the Israelites were in captivity. They were in slavery. And this place is also Babylon the Great. But for the sake of this lesson, I said modern day Egyptians. And let me get in captivity together. Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And our people, Esau knows our people. Esau, that cunning hunter that studies his prey, knows our people. And basically, our people love to go down to Egypt for help. Our people love to go down to Egypt for help. Woe to the rebellious children, Isaiah 31. Saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Verse 4, for his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. Verse 5, they were all ashamed, or Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be a help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. Verse 6, the burden of the beasts of the south into a land of trouble and anguish, from whence come the young and old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent. They will carry the riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. Verse 7, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. Yeah, you Jakes, you 2/3 Jakes, are still gonna be destroyed, man. Y'all are still gonna be destroyed. You take this you trust in this covenant with death, and you take heed to these, basically to false leaders of our people, to take heed to them, and to Esau, Edom, the ruler of spiritual Sodom and Egypt, and you go to this devil. You go to this devil for help. And eventually end up getting the chip, because that's when you gotta make a choice. Whether to get that grain of rice and continue receiving that guaranteed basic income, or you decide to go off the grid. And eventually they're gonna make it a crime. What are you, a terrorist or something? Why you wanna go outside the grid? You know, they're gonna look at you as a terrorist because of Esau. He gonna stage an event. There's different ways he's going to cause the people to receive this M-A-R-K. But one way is through this. But say you go ahead and take that that charagma. You take that grain of rice. You're just gonna be missile food. You're just sealing. You're just sealing your fate to be missile food. Verse 7, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Verse 8, now go write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious children. This is verse 9. Line, and last verse was verse 8. That this is a rebellious children, people, rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not, unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Verse 11, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Verse 12, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. You trust in oppression. Verse 13, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Verse 14, and he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it assured to take fire from the hearth, or to take water with thought out of the pit. Verse 15, for thus saith Yahweh power, the Holy One of Israel, and returning in rest shall ye be saved, and quietness and confidence shall be your strength, and ye will not. Returning what? To the old ways. Returning what? To the law, statutes, and commandments. And following them to the best of your ability. Returning to what? Trusting in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But instead, y'all been like this. You use 2/3 of you so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you Israelite foreigners. You've been like this. Verse 16, but ye said, no, for we will flee upon horses, therefore shall ye flee, and we will ride upon the swift, therefore that shall they that pursue you be swift. Because this devil is about to show his horns in a major way. Verse 17, 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, at the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee, so ye be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, as an ensign on the hill. Should get what I'm saying. Y'all trusting in the Egyptians all over again. The modern day Sodom in Egypt. You know. And so you're going to buy into, majority of y'all is going to buy into it all the way to where you're going to put your whole spirit into it. To where you're going to eventually quit your jobs, and eventually just be dependent on that free government cheese, thinking that Esau is he's doing it out of the kindness of his hearts, they're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, because they give a fuck about you being in poverty and want to lift you out of poverty. but really it's a whole trap. And when the time comes, these devils, what they're gonna do is they're gonna shut the trap door, and you're gonna be left with a choice. That's when everybody's in the trap, they're gonna shut it, and you're gonna be left with a choice. I take the chip. I take the grain of rice, or do I endure and try to? Do I trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? Majority of y'all is gonna take the chip, even if y'all decide to go off grid for a little while. Y'all ain't gonna endure for long. Because without Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you can't do it. So most of y'all gonna fall for this. Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Will try them that dwell upon the earth. Come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So eventually it's going to go global. Majority of y'all, well, the 2/3 that are still around, y'all gonna fall for this shit, hook, line, and sinker. And be caught up. And then be destroyed. And this is what I got for y'all. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of power Yahweh, which is poured out of the Most High Yahweh, the Most High power Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, aeons and aeons. Aeon meaning, that's the word there where it says ever. It's the word aeon, which is a period of time. Ever and ever. And it's going to feel like that, like forever and ever. And they'd have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. You're gonna meet. Hey, this is why. Verse 12. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High Power Yahweh, and the faith of Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope this live was edifying. I want to give all praises. I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Abba Baal, that's to Babylon. Abadla Adawamium, that to these Edomites. Abadla Goayim, that to these other nations. And Abadla Ayab Yanawa, that to the rest of our enemies. That's our enemies, which the rest of them are 2/3 of you so-called black people, Latinos and Native Americans here in the States, here in North America, here in the U.S., and which is Babylon, and you rebels scattered, you rebellious Israelites scattered among so-called black people, Latinos and natives that don't live here in the States, and among the Israelite foreigners that look like the other nations, scattered to the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Stay strong, as well as those in those northern kingdom and Caribbean, Levi and Benjamite countries. Shalom, stay strong, and Abba Baal.